What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome topics for you, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you're someone new and click that notification bell to get my videos first. We upload every single day here on the channel, so make sure you check back 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. So let's go ahead and get right into it here with some arithmetic or rocket science. No, I'm joking with that, but Sony definitely isn't making it easy for players out there when it comes to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of Horizon Forbidden West. Now, they had a countdown trailer to when you can pre-order, and now the pre-orders are live, and there are a number of things that you definitely need to know before you jump into this, because there are certain additions and certain things you get, and in terms of the upgrading path and what you can and can't do. So let's go ahead and break down everything. And I kind of scoured the internet to see who had the best little write-up on it. IGN did a pretty good job with explaining what was going on, and I'm going to show you guys pictures as well from Nibbles, so you guys can check that out on the respective platforms. So Horizon Forbidden West will not offer a free upgrade from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 on its standard or its special editions. You can't pay to upgrade the standard edition to one that does include the PlayStation 5 version either. So keep that in mind if you're a PlayStation 4 owner and saying, okay, well, you know, I'm going to get the PlayStation 5 at some point. I'll just be able to upgrade it. No, you won't just be able to upgrade it. You'll be able to just buy the PlayStation 5 version of the game. So that is a little bit of a different pace than what Sony's done before with a couple of their other exclusives that they have on console. So for example, like the Death Stranding or even like Ghost of Tsushima. Right now, previously announced Forbidden West will be receiving distinct PlayStation 4 and PS5 versions of the same exact game. Now, you can play the PlayStation 4 version on PlayStation 5, but it won't receive the same visual performance and upgrades and everything that's in the PlayStation 5 version of the game. Now, this was revealed on the game's FAQ page under the headline, quote, "Can I upgrade my PS4 version to the PS5 version?" It's revealed that the standard and special editions of the game will come with no dual entitlement, and that means including the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of the game. Now, dual entitlement is included in the naturally more expensive Digital Deluxe Collector's Edition or Regalia editions, but they are entirely separate from the full game purchases. Now, unlike other PlayStation 5 games like I already talked about, you have Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, there will not be a less expensive paid upgrade either. There are no plans for an update to offer from standard to digital deluxe editions at this time, reads the FAQ straight from Sony. Now, amid the already just like confusing stuff, right? Because that's already right there. I'm reading it and I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense, I think, for the most part, but there's more to it when it comes down to it. Sony hasn't explained the decisions in Horizon Forbidden West case, but aside from the fact that it will make more money, right? We do know that, but there isn't really an explanation why they're doing this compared to what they've already been doing on the PlayStation 5 with Ghost of Tsushima and with the Death Stranding Director's Cuts. So it is what it is there. The game is coming out next year, February 2022, got a delay. So the game does look amazing. Like graphically, it looks like it's going to be really good. It looks like they've improved the melee combat. And it does seem like it's going to be worth the extra $10 on the PlayStation 5 version of the game. But I think where this is a little bit of an issue is when people who can't get their hands on a PlayStation 5, right? And they just want to play the PlayStation 4 version of the game, and then maybe later they get a PlayStation 5 version of the game, and in order to get the same enhancements, they have to pay for the game over again when it's essentially the same system, right? The same game and everything. It's not like they changed or completely changed the architecture and everything. It's still the same game and everything, right? So that's the unfortunate side of everything. And I guess for some of the hardcore fans out there, that's definitely a bit tough, you know, especially when Sony stated, even in some of the things they stated that, hey, they're going to be doing upgrades, they're going to be doing stuff for the launch windows and for stuff like that, right, with these upgrades. And they've held true to that with the first few games, right? But this one was like, nope, not here with Horizon Forbidden West. Maybe because it's such an expensive game to make, because I'm guessing they spent just a ridiculous amount of money trying to make this game, and they're trying to make back maximum amounts of the development costs plus millions upon millions upon millions of profit. I don't even want to know how much this game cost them, because it probably was insanely expensive, and they're just looking to make that back. Not that it's okay in terms of everything, but I can kind of understand where their mindset is, but at the same time, it's definitely rough out there. So just make sure that you make an informed decision before you purchase. You know, make sure that you know that, hey, if you want this version or that version, there's special editions, there's all sorts of stuff, there's certain unlocks I saw on there, photo mode unlocks with the digital deluxe editions and certain costumes and outfits. So there's a variety of different things. That's up to you. I'll let you guys check that out to see which ones you're interested in or what you want to get. Just make sure that you know everything that you're getting and what you want before you head into this pre-order trailer, because it is a little bit confusing if you're not paying attention to the fine print on there. So what are your thoughts on this Horizon Forbidden West fiasco that's kind of going down? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. Shin Megami Tensei 5. It's been a little bit since I talked about this game, so I'm getting a bit antsy, so we have to discuss some more things. Now, we're not going to go over everything that the developers have put out there, but I did want to talk about some of the sleek art style and just some of the stuff that this game does bring to the Nintendo Switch, which we haven't really seen before, and also go over some other information too. So Atlus has released brand new sets of screenshots and information for SMT5, detailing some of the new characters in the game. You guys are seeing some incredible art here that many people are hoping that it's right out, you know, from the other previous games, that it's some type of descendant or something's related to him with these pictures here. So I do want to go over this just for those that are kind of new with SMT as well, because we got a lot of new gamers on the Nintendo Switch that maybe haven't played an SMT game. So let's go ahead and go into a little bit of a background detail here. So in 1992, the very first Shin Megami Tensei game was released to the world, the dark narrative that delved into archaic themes uncommon in games at the time, compared with the innovative battle system where players recruit demons and gods to fight alongside them, led the game to the series gaining a cult following. The critically acclaimed Persona and Devil Summoner series all began from here. Now in 2021, the newest installment of the series, Shin Megami Tensei 5, will deliver an all-new demonic experience that fully utilizes the high-quality graphics that a modern console brings, while staying true to the series' roots. And I'm glad that they said that there, because I've been talking about this before when it comes to Japanese RPGs, and when it comes to new Japanese RPGs built for the Switch. This is the first one that I've seen that actually said, okay, we are going to go in with what the Switch can do. We're not just porting from a different system. This is built for the system. We're going to actually utilize it. It reminds me of a first-party Nintendo game in terms of how they utilize the system and kind of pull the best out of it at the highest line, like a Super Mario Odyssey or like a Legend of Zelda, or even like an Astral Chain. If you look at the environments and the graphics in that game, it's still extremely well. So good to the point to where some people who didn't know what the game was were asking me if this is a PlayStation 4 game when I was playing Astral Chain. And I think that when you look at Shin Megami Tensei 5 and you compare that to a lot of what the other Japanese developers are doing at not the highest level, so not like a Final Fantasy or like a Tales of Arise, but some of the AA type of games or like the Falcom and stuff like that, it clearly is much more graphically intense and better than most of those games. So it's really cool to see a developer, Atlus, actually put that time and investment into the Nintendo Switch. And we know it took pretty much all generations so far, but you know what, man, it is worth it considering how good these screenshots look and how awesome the game is going to play. So I'm really looking forward to knowing more about these characters that you guys are seeing and knowing more about these demons and what they can do and these gods and their powers and everything. It's very exciting. It's very exciting to see the different designs and see the quality of work that's being put into this game. Now, they do go over more of the negotiation system and other things. You guys can check that out as well on Gematsu, but I'm just excited to get into Shin Megami Tensei. So what do you guys think about these new screenshots and the gameplay for Shin Megami Tensei? I feel that this is definitely becoming, or it is already, a must buy, which I've talked about, and of course I'll make more videos on. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, we do have an update when it comes to the Bravely Default series and how it's done well so far worldwide. So shout outs to, once again, my dude Stealth, that's always out there on the beat with these good articles and these good topics talking about the Japanese gaming industry. So Mr. Asano from Square Enix said in Famitsu that Bravely Default 2 was well received and they hope to continue the series. They said they are still in the planning phase for a new game, but it could take 3 to 4 years until release. So it does look like Bravely Default 3 is happening, and I'm very happy to see that Bravely Default is going to continue. I talked about this just recently, how Bravely Default 2 pretty much hit 1 million units at this point, and since they charged $60 for this one, they definitely made more profit probably than what they made before on the Nintendo 3DS, which they were charging $40 for the Bravely Default games back then. So $20 bump up obviously is good there, and they pretty much outsold the previous Bravely Default games as well. So not only are you selling more, but you're also at a higher price and you're getting it out there to more consumers too, because now you have a PC version of the game as well. So it's all good news when it comes to the Bravely Default series, and I'm so happy people decided to pick this one up. To see a hardcore Japanese RPG like Bravely Default sell 1 million copies in less than a year on the Nintendo Switch platform by itself is impressive in its own right, whereas it would take like more than a year on the Nintendo 3DS for the first game to pass that up. So I'm very happy to see Asano games like Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default continue to do well on the Nintendo Switch and continue that tradition of having these great, in-depth, detailed games that have this unique art style that maybe isn't for everyone, but if you try out the game and if you love old school Final Fantasy, if you love like Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 and all of that, then you're going to really enjoy the Bravely Default type of games. You're going to really enjoy the Octopath Traveler and stuff like that. But Bravely Default to me just took it to the next level with the combat and the upgrades and the system that it does have and the different types of classes and abilities. It's just fantastic, and you can play it anywhere that you want. That is a dream come true, on the TV and also on the go. That was like my one issue that I had with the original Bravely Default and Bravely Second End Layer was I can only play it portable handheld, but now I can actually get that on my TV when I feel like it and also play it on the go. So it's absolutely perfect for me at least. So what are your thoughts on this big Nintendo Switch console exclusive, also on PC, also probably coming in the future? Like, what system is this going to be on? I'm guessing that's probably going to be a Switch 2 type of release, also probably with a regular Switch release as well, probably a dual release for the game. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys, we do have an update on Azure Striker Gunvolt 3. This is a Nintendo Switch exclusive, and I am a huge fan of the Azure Striker Gunvolt series. I've been playing them ever since they came out on the Nintendo like 3DS and all that, so I'm a big fan of the Azure Striker Gunvolt series. It reminds me of like Mega Man Zero and the Mega Man old school games and everything. It's the spiritual successor to those old school Mega Man X games and Mega Man Zero games. So Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 will launch exclusively for the Nintendo Switch in summer 2022. Developer Inti Creates has announced. Now there's also a brand new 8-minute development report video that you guys are seeing as well. It was recorded in August at the Level 5 Concept Conference Room in Osaka. And to be honest, man, like what makes Azure Striker Gunvolt so good to me, and even better than some of the Mega Man games that I've played, is just like the speed of the game, like how it's constantly evolving, how you can actually take different upgrades and parts and put it to your character. The progression in the Azure Striker Gunvolt games are so good. I think for me at least, Mega Man's progression has always been beat the Robot Master, you get his power. Mega Man X brought in the different types of armor upgrades that you can get if you can find them. So those were always great. But Azure Striker Gunvolt was kind of like, okay, well, we're going to take it to where it's more of like an RPG and like an action game to where you can actually farm different parts and get different things, equip that on you, and kind of go through at a fast pace. So I love what they're doing here. I think that in the absence of having the Mega Man Zero franchise and some of the new Mega Man games, I think Azure Striker Gunvolt has been a really good replacement, at least at this point for me. But it's just good to see that this style of game is continuing on with this, and we're going to get Azure Striker 3 next year. So I like the fact that they're taking their time. Maybe they announced it a bit too early, but they're taking their time. They're making sure that it's going to be a quality game, and I'm really looking forward to playing this on the Switch when it does drop next year. Beat both the first and second game. And also they talked about Luminous Avenger as well. That's coming in early 2022, which we'll talk about that probably in another video too. So great stuff to see that Inti Creates is continuing the legacy of what they've started with Mega Man, or what they were helped out with when it comes to Mega Man Zero. And I can't wait to check out Azure Striker 3 when it drops on the Switch next year. So what are your thoughts on all the different topics here, from Horizon Forbidden West to SMT5, Bravely Default 3, and of course Azure Striker Gunvolt 3? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Once again, subscribe if you can, share the video, and check out the link in the description. If you want to support the channel, you can become a channel member and get some cool perks and benefits. So, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.